Welcome to Raw Talent with your host, Mz Tink. Welcome to Raw Talent. Welcome to Raw Talent with your host, Mz Tink. Welcome to Raw Talent.
Hello and welcome to the New Year's edition of the Raw Talent Roundtable Discussion. Oh my God, I'm so freaking excited because I'm joined by the elite of Richmond, Virginia. All these black, beautiful entrepreneurs are joining me today. It's just amazing. I am so freaking excited tonight. So I am your host, Mz Tink, this evening. I am joined by...
Hey everybody, my name's Cameron. I'm a clothing brand based out here in the RVA. Follow me on Instagram, Royale RVA 804. That's ROYALE RVA 804. Facebook, www.facebook.com/RVA 804. I'm very excited to be here with everybody, black business women.
You outnumbered tonight.
No, I'm outnumbered. Don't y'all take it easy on me.
You like it that way.
And yeah, I'm excited to be here. So thank you.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl, Special K. I am a spoken word artist and entertainer. And let me tell you something, I'm better than any cereal, more addictive than any drug. One taste of my words and you will be begging for your next fix. I am also a storyteller. Come on out to my debut one-woman show, More Than Just a Mom, January 12th. You can stream it online for up to 2 weeks after that. Follow me on Facebook, Kimberly Johnson, Special K in parentheses, or on Insta, that's Divine Miss Kim with no vowels, so DVNMSKM. See y'all on the socials.
Well, damn. What's up, homie lovers and friends? I am Tonia Emanuel. I'm the high definition mentor and business coach and strategist. You can find me on Instagram at TONIA Emanuel EMANUEL_. Listen, I am just here to settle the motherfucking score. Love you.
Hey,
What score? Well, damn. I'm Nichelle. You can follow me on Nichelle Roche on Instagram, same on Facebook. I am a candle maker. I do nails. I do hair. I'm just a wonderful, talented woman.
From Atlanta to Richmond. From ATL to Richmond,
Well, I don't know how I was a father or the However, my name is Tiffany, better known as Buttonana, BUTTONNANA. Buttonana comes from I am a grandma of 3. You can follow me on Instagram, TIFFPSB, Cap City Character Owner. You can follow me on Instagram, Cap City Characters, RVA.
Sidekick kickback.
You know the mama gonna speak up.
That energy did rub off on me. Yes, I am one of the co-hosts of Sidekick Kickback. My both best friend Ray. She's not here. She's 4. However, follow us on YouTube, IG, and Facebook. Sidekick Kickback.
Hey.
So let's just dive right in. We're gonna start hot. You know what I'm saying? So
Been ready.
it was just brought to my attention that a 6-year-old killed a teacher.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to the teacher.
She didn't kill him.
It's unknown.
It.
It hasn't. I don't think anybody has said that
The
yet.
This is
sources
like hot
said
new
that they
news.
just
Yeah,
shot
real
him.
new.
Oh,
Yeah.
So did he shoot him at school? Do y'all know?
Yes.
No, I don't know.
Yes, it's a school. So what I just saw at like 6 o'clock this evening, and it was like school shooting in Newport News.
So he brought the gun to school and shot the teacher. He must have failed him or something.
No.
What was the shooting for? Did they say what was the reason?
I don't know, but
There's never a reason for a 6-year-old.
Hold on.
There's never a reason.
Yeah.
The 6-year-olds they don't have the executive function, the cognitive ability to even understand what is really happening. So my assumption
assumption. I don't know. No, I do know. I'm gonna just go out on a limb because all of us have young children. All of us have raised children.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that a 6-year-old does not have culpability. They don't have the ability to really understand what is going on. It's not a reality in their heads. You know, I mean, if somebody dies on Roblox, they don't put the 2 and 2 together. If they're watching video games or whatever, if they're playing Call of Duty with their fathers, okay, I came across a gun, I'm going to shoot my teacher. But, I mean, chances are the kid wasn't even angry at the teacher. I mean, I have the gun, I pulled it out, and I'm like, oh, duh. I mean, it's no different
Maybe
to
the teacher
them.
didn't let them color or something.
They don't even have the
Their mind was, I'm
not
It
saying,
could
I'm
be
just
anything.
saying,
something
It
they
could be
saw or they
anything.
didn't see.
But you know, being that this happened and it's publicly, you know that they're gonna try to find a reason.
Yeah.
What color is the kid? I hate to say it like that, but what color is the kid? Is he black? Is he
the
white?
thing is, how did the kid even
Get the gun.
That's
The
first
parents
of
are
all.
definitely
And how, we check our kids' book bags. Like, it's something that
Do we?
is
Everybody
normal.
don't do that.
You know, we check the book bag.
I do, but everybody don't do that.
I mean,
You know
you're
what
right.
I'm saying?
Everybody don't do it.
Everybody
'cause-
do that. I fuss at my kids.
Well,
for
why
taking
have
toys
a
to school.
gun where a 6-year-old can even get to it?
Right, 100. You're 100%
So
correct.
right, that's what a lot of the parents are asking is they're saying 7, but he is 6 years old. How does he get a gun? How does he bring it to school?
How do you even know how to take it off safety?
Right.
How to
It's something that he's seen.
That's a learned
I
behavior.
think it's something seen.
I think some children also, I think there are parents
Who expose their kids to this kind of stuff. So.
and you will teach your children about gun safety, not to touch your gun, and you will in your mind assume, you know what, I've taught them, they know not to touch the gun, but you are really
At 6, you're teaching
Did they
them not to touch
process?
the
Did
gun.
they process the danger of having?
They-
I have a gun.
She's
I have a
6.
gun, and my child. I have shown my son the gun. I have explained that this is not a toy. This is real. However, I do keep my gun in a safe that requires a fingerprint, so it's not something that is accessible. But because of what is seen on social media, because it's in Roblox, it's in everything that they
aspect of social
do.
media.
And you cannot police them. And you know, as much as you like to, they go to school, they watch it from other friends, their friends are talking about it. They do not have the cognitive ability to understand the ramifications of actually pulling the trigger. The responsibility and the onus is truly on the parent.
But being that he's pulled the trigger, you know, with the criminal justice system, that just because he don't have the cognitive ability does not mean that he's going to be exonerated.
This is very true.
You know what I'm saying? Because when
like
specialists come in, you know,
When
It's a wrap.
I pulled the article up, it said that he was in custody. So this is a
In custody
this is
where?
a si- it didn't say, but this is a 6-year-old
That's
in
tough.
custody.
right.
Why is it like you really?
no, he should be
going
released to his parents.
Right.
exactly like going back to what you
But
said
they,
about
then again, they probably said, why return to the parents that allowed this child to make this mistake?
A family member.
somebody,
Close
but
to the
not
baby.
custody.
The
Because
baby.
think of like the ramifications. Like going back to what you said about they don't know what's happening. So I have a son who is 24, just turned 24. He was shot in August. My 6th, he's 7 now, but he was 6 at the time. He was playing around. He's played video games. He was like, Uncle, whatever my son's name is, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna shoot you. He got that from video games, not realizing how serious
severity of it.
that is. So we had to take him aside. We had to educate him, like, hey, you know why that's not okay? Hey, yeah, you may hear this on TV, and you
But
may
this
see
is the norm, though. Like,
It
when
is
you turn on the news, what are you hearing about? 9 times out of 7. You're hearing about shooting, somebody got killed, a 17-year-old, 14-year-old shot a 17-year-old, 15-year-old shot an 18-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're hearing about children committing these crimes. And if you think for 1 minute that these kids, I don't give a darn how old they are, because no matter how many filters you put on stuff, social media has a way of making it matter. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care how much you try to shelter your kids, which I don't honestly believe in sheltering, because somebody's going to expose them.
exactly. And I'd rather it be me, the parent.
So I can control the narrative.
But you know what?
I'm saying?
I want to know what happened to the OGs. That I think the problem comes because we don't got no OGs anymore. Like, I can remember when, okay, now my son is 24, my kids 24, 23, 25, the older ones. I remember we lived in one of RVA's, like, hood. We lived in the hood. And I'd take my kids to the playground, and the OGs would be at the playground conducting whatever business the OGs conduct, and they would see us coming, and they'd be like, oh, no, we gonna respect you.
They don't have
Well, the OGs are locked the fuck up.
But where the OGs? It's like we don't have the OGs no more. We don't have the OG parents. None of the OGs. And
the OG mentality.
Exactly. Where is it?
We're all for self.
Well, first of all,
everybody work together.
I want to say my condolences to you about your son getting shot, because that's like post-traumatic stress syndrome. That's a fucking big deal, because that like lives in your body. You know what I'm saying? Like, you always worried about your kids. And I think, you know, once your kids get shot, not even before that, but just having black children, period, it's stressful. Like, it's really one of those things that you're constantly worried about your kids. You can't touch the teachers. You can't trust, you know, anybody around your children. So when we talk about OGs, really the OGs, I find really, to me, it's like us. We live the mamas is the motherfucking OGs, because it's so many men. No, they're not even men. I apologize. Like, you're a man, but it's some of y'all, like, no cap, y'all are males. Like, you need to be sunned or something. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it. But you really need, because I'm OG. You know, and it's like, you need to help your boys get raised up. Like, if that's your homeboy, you know, that's not even your home man. Like, you need to help them get raised up. I don't care how old you are. If you're 50, 60, 70 years old, let me, like, talk to the camera and talk to you. Like, for a black man, like, don't sit next to your brother as a male, and, you know, he's not raising his sons. He's not helping out these women. He's not stepping up to the plate. You know, he's not having the conversations. He's not doing what he needs to do to step up. Like, that's a big deal. You don't know what lives in these black women's bodies, and what it means for a mother to be fearful of her children, to fearful of her son every time he walk out the door. And, like, for her son, like, this your mom, like, be more careful, my nigga. Like, that's fucked up that your mom has to live like this. Like, every day she's worried. Every time you go out the door, every time you do these things, like putting yourself in these situations where your mom is fearful of whether or not you're gonna come home at night. These niggas don't care about you. Like, no bullshit. So looking at the things, listening to the music that we listen to, indoctrinating our kids into what they're listening to, you know what I'm saying? This music is fucking trash. You know, men that sit beside boys is trash. And we really just have to be careful about what our kids are listening to and what our kids are watching. Like, fuck YouTube.
And I feel you, because I honestly have a 14 and 16-year-old, right? So that's high school ages, and I would say I honestly feel like middle school is more impressionable than high school. High school, they become a little bit more self-aware. So with my 14-year-old, that's my baby that I'm really, like, I grew up in the trenches with, you know, in my opinion. So with him, like, the other day he walked up to me, he was like, Mom, so-and-so just got locked up for a crime he didn't commit. I know he didn't commit it because he was with me. So my heart dropped, because I'm like, he was with you and he got arrested. Okay, for a crime that he didn't commit. So I'm waiting on my dog to get knocked on. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what the heck? You know what I'm saying? But this is like when he comes to me with these situations, it's like I'm talking him through them. Because I told him, I said, you know, he needs a paid lawyer. Straight up. He needs a paid lawyer.
Paid lawyer is a problem.
Right. And I'm like, he was like, why? Like,
Public,
you know, and then he was like, well, the kid is 15. No parents. His dad is in jail. His mom is deceased. Going to jail. And I was like, well, let me tell you something. And he got a prior. I said, let me tell you something. He going to jail. He going to sit down. I said, because you're going to have a prosecutor who works with the defense defending him in court. That's what's going to happen. He's 15. If he don't have nobody in his corner, in his ear, supporting him and being there for him, this is the reality that's going to happen. I'm just letting you know. And I also, we have these conversations so often with, like, the girl who got shot in Jackson Ward, that was 15. My son knew her. You know what I'm saying? So I have to deal with it on the end of mourning the loss. Then the boy who got shot on Laburnum, days after the 15-year-old got shot, he knew her. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you go to Verona. Like, why do you know all these people? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're talking to me about people in Essex, you're talking to me about people in Hermitage, but he's popular. So he's opening himself up to all these people. And it's like, what I'm noticing about my son, which I just told my cousin, I said, I feel like he has a purpose. Because 9 times out of 10, any friend that he has some type of issue with their mother, some type of no father, and he doesn't have neither one of those. You know what I'm saying? Or they just have a really troubled path that they're on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he has people that's going on house arrest, people that's coming off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm listening to my 14-year-old that I've like, you my baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not used to you. You know what I'm saying? And y'all met my son. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to everybody, he's the quiet kid, the chill kid, the one that keeps to himself. But he's coming to me like, I'm concerned about so-and-so. I'm concerned about this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm having to talk him through these situations because I can't physically help everybody. You know what I'm saying?
But it's crazy because you're concerned about him because it's like, why do you know these people and why do you are you around them? I mean,
and the thing is, when he asks us to go places, honestly, as a mother, this is my answer. Oh, he asked me, he said, for example, I'm not going to name names, I'm going to say Chris, okay? It's a general name. So he'll be like, I want to go with Chris to XYZ place. And I'm like, okay, well, how do you want to get there? Because I'm making him think, like, mentally, plan this thing out.
What's up.
You know what I'm saying? So how are you going to get there? Oh, well, I'm going to ask Chris's mother. Well, who the hell is Chris's mother? Just because you say mother in front of Chris, that doesn't mean that I am okay with Chris's mother. Right. Because I don't know who the fuck Chris's mother is. Right. You don't know what type of shit Chris's mother is into, what type of shit Chris is into, who they done pissed the fuck off. A straight bullet don't have nobody name on it, and your destination is not determined by your thought process. You know what I'm saying? So you have to think about all of these things, and he's like, really, Mom, all of that fucking I ain't going. Well, I'd rather be at home.
Well, then don't go. Don't go.
You know, but we have these conversations, and he's like, I want to go to the game. I want to go this, and the third. And I'm like, okay, you can go to the game. You're in high school. I want you to have these experiences. But in the fourth quarter, after the first 5 minutes, give me a phone call because I'm going to be at the game before the last buzzer sound off. Yep. Why? Because shit happens when the buzzer sounds off. Yep. So therefore, I want to be in the parking lot. Because even if I cannot stop what's going to happen, I'm going to protect you by all means. Because if I hear a sound, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? Full throttle.
I like the fact that you make him think.
Always.
Because then that means that by the time he gets, you know, as he goes older, he's going to start thinking for himself. Too many women protect their children, especially their sons. Like, they'll send their daughters off in a fucking huff. Women will send their damn daughters off. But as a son, they coddle their sons too much, and their fucking sons cannot think.
You're right.
Like, you
ever dated a mama's boy?
I apologize for every man that I've dated that has been a mama's boy.
Wait, I just want to know why Cam had to take a sip on that.
Your mama's boy,
right?
But you're not in it.
But does your mother enable your behavior?
Does she cripple?
Oh no, if I'm wrong, she gonna tell me.
Do you live with her?
I do.
That's okay, but you know what? That's okay now.
I'm not saying anything.
That's okay.
I'm not judging.
My son, I would rather, like, now looking at it, now my son and my older daughters, and you know, whatever, they got a little too much stuff smelling themselves. But honestly, in this day and age, if they could get it together and realize, hey, we all gonna pay bills in this house, we all gonna help each other come out, you know.
Stay away.
I think that's a little bit different.
Stay here. I think in today's.
Well, hold on. I got a question for y'all. For the whole panel.
From the behind the camera.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Y'all getting too good.
We ain't even got into the conversation.
Man, I had so many, and I'm trying to skip over them. But I guess just on that one subject of mama's boy, right? Because that's a term that you hear throughout the generations, no matter where you are, right? What is the downfall of a mama's boy for real, for real?
You can't let your mama go. You on her titty.
No,
you can't stand on
the
the
downfall.
You looking for
of
your mama's
being a mother's boy. Mama's boy is the fact that you can't do for yourself. If she takes care of everything for you, she's washing your clothes, she's cooking for you,
she's
she's
looking for that
literally paying your bills. Everything, you're gonna go to your relationship expecting that from the next person,
and
that
also
person ain't gonna put up with that.
They listen to the mom, whatever the mom says.
That's what
they starts to interfere with the relationship.
To make your own decision.
You can't
go
think for
your
yourself.
mom.
You are constantly. It's like your mom has control over you, and you're not allowed to be a grown man.
That's an extreme mama's boy, but it still levels the mama's boys because you can get before extreme and it's still too much.
All right, so break it down then.
What the levels?
Yeah. I mean, real talk, because
There are levels.
I say that because it's
You know how you have a separation of church and state? You have a separation of your relationship with your mother and your relationship with your wife, your girlfriend, your kids. All of that is separate. So therefore, if your mother takes precedence in the middle of every single decision, every single conversation, like for me, honestly, I lost my father. You know what I'm saying? I'm a daddy's girl to the core. My mom stepped into that place once I lost my father. But still, my first decision isn't to call my mom. Like, when New Year's hit, my first decision was to call my kids. I was with my fiance, so my first decision is to make sure that my household is all contacted, to make sure everybody's safe, everything. My first decision isn't to call my mom.
Well,
You see what I'm saying?
My first
I'm not saying
decision was
it's
to
a
call my
bad
mom.
thing.
Like,
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's like, due process. You gonna check on your kids, though. Right? No? Oh, well, that's just me then.
I was in church because I'm a church girl.
Well, wait a minute.
But no, there's nothing wrong with that, but just for people.
He was asking what was the, like, break
What's the
down the
levels?
different types
the
of
kind of
mamas.
different levels of it. Because
You know what I'm
even
saying?
with like that standpoint, right?
I feel like some people are just overly dependent on
I guess you
their
could say
moms,
so.
you know?
It's a lot of things, in my opinion, are about perspective, right? You see what you see, and that's what you go off of. But you don't always see what happens before that.
But
That's where
I
the
think
communication comes in from.
yeah.
But some things don't have to be communicated all the time.
If you don't want,
So that's why I
if you don't
asked,
want
what's the-
perception to be the opposite of what it is? Communication is gonna have to be key.
Right. And also, if you can't show up for anybody because I can only show up for my mama, and I can't show up for anybody or anything else, red flag. Like,
Or if you gotta alter your whole household
right.
for your mother,
Right.
that's a problem.
Now we're not talking about mama sick and she in the hospital. We're not talking about that. We talking about like
Mama mad.
Right.
So I gotta adhere to mama, but your household is in the uproar
Right.
because
or my mom needs me to go to the grocery store but we ain't got any food in here, but I'm gonna go put food in my mama's house.
Yep. Or you paying bills at your mama's house before you
pay bills at your own house. Like
you pay for your mama's stuff before you take care of your child's stuff.
Right.
That's
or
crazy.
I'm gonna take my mama out to
That's
eat,
little boy
but I'm
stuff.
not gonna
That's
take
not
my
even mama's
girl
boy.
or
That's
my
my little
wife.
boy.
Wait a minute.
Depends on the situation. What if
Hell
they
no.
Thank you, Cam. Come on, Cam. Chime in, Cam. Come on.
Come
Come on.
I want to hear them all out.
Boy, that's a little boy. Or little
No, I wanna hear 'em all
with
out.
a mad 5-year-old mad frame. Because if
Not
you
a
want to
5-year-old.
put something else, somebody else before your household, and you say your mama can live her life. She done had your daddy, she had your stepdad, she done had man.
God damn. I'm gonna have a good time.
When you lay your head
For real.
Your mama had better time than your ass.
Yeah.
Women now, most women, not all women, most women want to be the man now.
Yes.
And
No.
now,
Touch on it. Touch on it. Touch on it, Cam.
Just depends
Touch
on
on
the
it.
situation, and you don't even know. Just listen to what,
That's a
like
weak
what me.
minded man
Listen
they
to
run away.
Hold on now. Let the man speak. Hold
Listen to what
on
I'm saying. I
now.
heard you out.
Gotta give him some leeway. Let the man
I
speak.
wanted to hear you
Go
out so I
ahead.
can get my input.
We got you.
The thing is, like, just for me confessing, I live with my mom. Ain't no shame with that. Because the thing is, like, you don't know what type of relationships that I might have been in where I was with a woman and they belittled me and made me feel as if I was less of a man.
Yeah.
So maybe I was put in a situation where, my mom, I don't want to depend or rely on her,
That's your comfort zone.
but that's my comfort. She gonna be like, I'm not gonna leave you hanging. I'm not gonna leave you on the street. I'm not gonna see you starving. There's plenty of women
But when
that
do
do
you
that
let
to
that go?
men.
How do you let that go?
Oh, it's not a permanent thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're in a relationship with a woman that makes you feel less of a man, you ain't gonna love her. You ain't gonna want to do nothing for her. Because you ain't got no encouragement. You ain't got no love.
So
Who can you talk to?
Okay, so I have a question for you. So what if you are in a relationship with a woman and you want to move to the stage of building your own with this woman? When do you let your mama go?
But that's assuming.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. Okay, so that statement is assuming that the mama is being held onto.
I'm saying if that is the case.
If there's
when we talk about mama's boy,
Right.
yeah.
Not being
If
held
there's a
on to.
codependency,
That was
Right.
just going back to a temporary situation.
Yeah,
Right.
So you
Until
think
you
it is
get
a
back on your
codependency. When do
feet.
you
Oh,
decide?
all night with this stuff.
We ain't got to the bottom yet.
Y'all better dealt with those type of men. Y'all better dealt with them. But hey, it don't offend me because I ain't one of them.
Y'all hit nerves.
Everybody still had their own opinion how that feel.
We went from a 6-year-old shooting somebody to
Yeah.
mama's boys. Okay.
It's okay.
My mind think different. I'm sorry. My mind think different. That's all. That's all. My mind think different. I apologize. I won't say nothing else. I won't say nothing else. I apologize.
Cameraman, stay behind the scenes.
I already know. So it says, for those who want to merge, would you be okay with a courthouse wedding, or do you want an actual wedding? Let me answer this question right here.
Hold on, let me zoom in.
This wedding thing. For me, I've been married once. Waste of money. First of all, they come, everybody want to get drunk, want to eat, want to talk about, is it really in love, who the person, what their head on, what that person had on, what the bridesmaid head on. Me, you can take me in front to Bird Park with that certificate.
It's very pretty.
Because the money that you was going to spend on this food that we got to pay $50 a plate for, these dresses, it's going to be $300, and I'm going to kick everything over at somebody's wedding anyway. We can take that money in advance. For a nice vacation for us. I want my wedding baby to cater to us.
So what if you could do both? What if you could have the wedding and have the dream vacation?
I mean, we could, but me, I'm a simple, easygoing person.
Is that because you were already married once before?
No,
or is it
even
because,
before that.
like, oh, okay.
My mom decided she wanted to give me this wedding. As long as I know that he loves me, it don't matter if I have a small wedding, big wedding, we can have a Zoom wedding, as long as the love comes from her.
You so cold already.
No. I draw the line.
And then even like when people get worked up, even like with the rings, so why this ring don't look like this, or why I don't got this diamond? You can give me a rubber band one. As long as the ring don't make
Let me tell you, we got 4 sets of wedding rings. Matching, all of them match.
Extra.
Let me just say this on the wedding ring. This is my belief on the engagement ring. Really, the truth of the matter is, this is my personal opinion. I do not feel like a woman should pick the engagement ring or the wedding ring. The only opinion you should have is maybe if you like gold or silver or platinum. And that is a gift from your beloved.
Yeah,
and you should not
put on there earlier. It's an earring inside of a.
Oh yeah, I seen that post.
I didn't see
and
that.
she was like, "I'm so happy,"
because that is irrelevant. If you're centering your focus on the size of the ring, all of these things. This is a ring from your beloved, and this is a gift from him to you. You really shouldn't have nothing to do with it.
Some people do weddings just for show for other people.
Right. And that's the part I don't agree with. So, like, for everybody knows, I'm engaged. And I'm getting married.
I didn't know. I thought you were already married.
You're not the only one, though. You're not the only one. But I'm just saying, like, with our wedding, our focus is to be 150% focused on us.
And I love that.
And that's one thing with our communication, like from the guest list to, and honestly, we only have 14 friends on our whole entire guest list out of 140 people.
So then why do it?
Because we're doing it for us.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We've had so many oppositions about, like, we're doing an all-white wedding affair. Like, everybody's in white. From the bridal party to the groom and the bride to the wedding party. Like, it's a mandatory dress. You know what I'm saying? Attire thing. And we are strict about that. We're not strict about a lot of stuff, but we're strict about what you have to wear because we pay for our pictures. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you know, it's certain things that we want, and we want them together. It's not like, it's like I had somebody
because it's not about impressing everybody else.
So I had somebody tell me, well, he's the man, so he shouldn't have that many opinions. No, he's the man, and we are 50-50 in this marriage, so we're 50-50 in all decisions. So, I want all white. He agrees on all white, but he likes wood. So wood is incorporated into our all white. You know what I'm saying? That's just it. Just period. Like, I don't give a damn if I gotta hurt your feelings, if you gotta cry, if you gotta be removed, if you gotta be uninvited. At the end of the day, our happiness, that wedding day, matters to me and him. We're not going over budget. We're not going broke. We're going to enjoy our fucking honeymoon. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do all the things that we want to do because this is the one and done. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how we feel like we want that day. But if we had decided to go to Justice of the Peace and do what the fuck we wanted to do, that would have been our fucking decision. You know what I'm saying?
That makes me happy, though. You know, it makes me happy for you that, you know, it's not all about this ego situation. Like, if he decides to get you a 5-carat ring, and that's very nice, and you're very. That's
if he give me a
blessed.
5-carat ring,
Right.
everybody know because I don't better chop my finger off. I'm gonna hold that thing. I'm gonna say, baby, let's go to the beauty supply store. And we gonna fake this till we make
If he get you a 5-carat ring, the beauty supply store will be the least of your fucking.
No, I'm
Honestly,
No,
I have 3 engagement rings.
Mhm.
3. You know what I'm saying? That was before the engagement of 2022. And the engagement ring that he gave me in 2022 is the most expensive ring, and I don't wear it. I don't wear it. I wear another area.
Chapo was out of prison. I'm a water pay for that way. His family members had to climb a wall, baby. I'm actually all the black woman, baby. Better get your back.
You with the hell then. But this is what I will say, because I've never, when I was younger, I never dreamed of white or red, never dreamed of that was not me. So it wasn't until I was in my 40s, 42 plus, because to be quite honest, I don't know if y'all ever had it, but I never been in love. I don't know what that is. I was in love when I was in high school, but in high school, that was different. I dated the same person. He killed himself, and from then you build a wall, and so you don't trust things. You know, you like people, you love people, you care about them, but those type of fantasies don't go through your head. You just kind of move on, day in and day out. So it depends on your experience, but the more work you do on yourself, you know, and you realize, like, you can have real love. You can be in love with somebody. You can, like, any of y'all seen that Indian girl? That girl that was Arab that was on Facebook, and she was like, I will do anything. My husband, I give him the world. I will die for him. You ain't seen that shit? Okay. I'll send it to you. Oh, it's very. Oh, people was coming for a throat because that she was literally saying and looking at the camera with such intensity. She was like, I will do anything for my husband. If he asks me to jump off a bridge,
they trying to like coming to America. Oh,
hey, that was I'm gonna send it to you, and y'all probably know what I'm talking about. When you see it, you realize that for real, like, you really feel that way about him. Like, you trust him to lead you. Yeah. You trust him to lead your family. I'm not dying for him, though. No, she didn't say she was going to die for him. I love him, but I'm not. But she said she'll do anything for him. I follow him. I trust him. But you knew that the sincerity and the depth that she was talking about is that she picked a man that she could trust. Right. And it wasn't 100%. The way we think about in America, like as black women and brown bodies, brown women, you know, whatever. We think, you know, like, you can't really trust everybody. Like, you have this sense of, and African men do it too. Like, if you ever met a Nigerian man, they have a different respect, a different love for black women that's so nurturing, culturing. But in America, it's like we're bred to have this thing that is like a disgust between black men and black women. And so, but I know different now. I know that you can find like true love, which you and your significant other have.
That y'all thought I was already married to.
Yeah. For real. And so if you know that it's possible for your sister, then you know it's possible for yourself, right? And so then therefore I can dream bigger, I can dream higher, and I can say, oh, okay, well, you know, if I did have this right man, yeah, I would want that.
And we got you stuff because we're going to get your groove back.
Well, when the fuck is she coming?
Oh, yeah, that make a shake, don't it? You want a shake?
Nod at me before you do it.
Nod at you.
Tough. Nod at me before you do it.
Okay.
Can I pick another question?
What did it say?
How do you think we can overcome the crab in the barrel effect?
Just throw it back in.
Right.
Y'all
ain't see that.
How y'all overthrow me?
That was wild. Threw that junk back in the barrel.
If you get 2 for 1, you got to take the second one.
Okay, so why is it okay for female on female action, but people frown about male on male action? Is there a double standard?
That sounds like a sexual question, don't you know?
It is.
No,
I know
it
that
sounds like they acting.
Why is it okay
females
to be lesbians and everybody cool with that, but they're not cool with 2 gay guys? I mean, personally, I don't have no problem with.
What you mean?
I don't frown upon either. So I have a gay sister. I have gay relatives. So for me, it's not a big deal.
That,
Why is it such a big
But they
deal?
go to
I
show
think
up.
it's just how society is.
And also, if you think about it, us women, if we go out here and have sex with multiple men, we whores or we, sluts. But a man can do it, and it's okay.
Yeah. There's just always been double standards in society, period. That doesn't mean that you have to...
A man can
worry
have
about
as many
those
bodies
standards.
as a woman, and it's fine. Well, okay, you can see a man, but if a woman do it, she's a garden tool. She's a whore.
But why is that okay though?
It's not okay.
It's not okay.
But you don't
Same.
have to live by those standards. You can live by whatever standards you set in your
True
own life.
indeed, but a lot of stuff nowadays is lived through what the
Cancel
social standard
culture.
is. Right,
Yeah,
you know how I feel about the cancel culture.
Cancel
But you know what I'm
your
saying?
ass
So
over
why is it okay? Like, why do we be like, oh yeah, 2 girls, yes, but 2 men, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's the same concept. It's different genders, in my opinion.
This might be a little bit off, but I don't care who you're sleeping with.
Amen.
What
Amen.
I do care about is that you don't have a right to infringe upon me and how I live my life. Like, I'ma just say it. Like, I'ma keep it a buck. Like, why do I need to explain to my kids? Like, just be regular. Like, I don't see heterosexual people kissing in the streets and all that. If you want to hold hands, that's fine. But don't do too much. Like, the media and the social media, you're doing too much. These children shouldn't be 4, 5, 6 years old having questions about why you're a boy and why you're a girl. And you get mad because you look like a dude and she called you, a 4-year-old called you a man like him, and then, well, I'm a girl, he needs to go by this. No, I don't need to go by that. That's a child. You should be mature enough as an adult to say that this isn't a discussion. This isn't about me. This is about a child. See you later. This is about a child. You know what I'm saying? Why are you forcing children to ponder, male and who's who in their head? To me, just be a fucking adult about it. Like, be mature. You're in front of a child.
Know when and where to say that stuff.
Yeah.
Or to do those things, just be appropriate. I'm not gonna come, me and you dating. I'm not gonna sit in front your 5-year-old niece and start kissing on you. Like, that's inappropriate.
Yeah.
That's an inappropriate time. So just
So
because
it's not
you're
even about hetero or homosexual.
I don't care.
It's about
What's
general
this
dating
being?
practices in front of
Right.
other people.
Like,
Because I know
this-
when we grew up, it was like, you're not kissing in front of. I'm not
Kids.
kissing in front of my mama. You know what I'm saying? It's a respect thing.
where's your
You know what I'm
step?
saying? It's a respect thing. So I feel like, I agree with you 150%.
And I will say, I did hear. I had a
I
friend
feel
who
like
said,
she got.
"I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you."
Yeah, it's like she boiling out.
My nose
I'm gonna speak on something though,
It's
for real.
a
Like,
teacher
for
in
real.
Richmond Public School. I'm gonna shut up right after this. I apologize, sir. Let me just say this one. It's a teacher in Richmond Public School. I don't know who it is, but somebody that was having this conversation with me. It wasn't you, no, was it?
It was.
Damn, my bad. Never mind.
Nah, go ahead.
We had
We
this
talk
whole
about it.
conversation for hours.
I apologize.
It's all right.
I had
You know,
to.
raw talent. I don't give a fuck. Go ahead.
I ain't gonna do you.
So what happened was the
No.
teacher asked this 6-year-old child to call them the opposite of their own gender.
No.
But the parent was not aware that this is what the teacher would be asking of the child. The child did not understand because the parent has never exposed them to this. So they asked the parent. The parent came to Facebook and was like, how do I handle this? Because I don't want to seem like I'm gay bashing, but I'm not ready for my 6-year-old to experience this, and I feel like I should have known before this was presented to my child so that I could decide whether I'm okay with it or whether I'm not.
To me,
Took my choice.
that is my choice as a parent. You are a teacher. You are there to represent. If you was working for the federal government, you cannot smoke weed, no matter whether weed is legal or not. You are there to fit a standard. You are there to be a representation. Your sexual gender, your identity, who you sleeping with, is got nothing to do with these children. You are wrong. You are out of order. Richmond Public Schools is out of order. It should be a fucking lawsuit, to be honest. And to me, that's what I believe. You have no right to bring that to a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old. These are children you're talking about. Who are you to influence a young child that is not even of age to even be talking about sex, identity. The only thing they need to know, they don't even understand the difference between Johnny as a boy and Dada as a female, and your grown ugly ass, because you ugly, is sitting around, you're ugly. Because your spirit is ugly. Because as an adult, what you should have said in your mind, that it was irrelevant. It was more important that this child was focused on school, that I was treating them fairly and respectfully. But what you did was got in your motherfucking panties like a little bitch. Now I'm going to say it like it is. You got in your fucking drawers about your sexuality because you're triggered by a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, 4-year-old. You are not a toddler. You are an adult. Please act in the standard to which you are hired to educate these children and not to push your sexual identity because you don't know what the fuck you are. That's not their problem.
Tonia Emanuel.
It is very important that we stand on principles as parents. You are your parents, you are your child's advocate. What you should have did was pulled your child out of school. You should have found your school board member. You should have found the goddamn director of school. It couldn't have been my child, I promise you. Because I swear to God, your motherfucking ass would have been fired. You're not going to discuss your sexual issue with my child. That is a child. You are an adult. Whatever they call you, if you look like a nigga, you's a fucking nigga. That's it. Period. In the store. I don't care what you have in your britches. That's not our problem. I don't care what bathroom you use. Just don't make it my problem. It's not my problem to have to explain it to children. Grow the fuck up, toddler. Grow the fuck up. The child is more mature than you are, and I do not appreciate it.
Grow the fuck up.
Grow the fuck up.
Toddler.
Toddler.
You know what I'm saying?
I apologize.
Shit, we can have a discussion right there.
Okay. So I'm not. First of all, I don't think that putting your sexual orientation, whatever it is, in front of a child to where the child has to make a decision about it is appropriate. Right. Let me say that, clarify that. Okay. Now going back to like the PDA and stuff, fuck what you heard. If I love you, I'ma kiss you. If I love you, I'ma kiss you. Yeah, I ain't gonna. If I feel like now I ain't having sex like all out in the open and being like, ooh, like, but whatever.
But are you doing it within reason? Like you're not like
that's not
like if you're dating him and your mom is sitting here.
I will kiss him in front of my mother.
But when you be like ready to jump his fucking bones.
No, that's what I said. I'm not having sex. I'm not like, ooh, I'm not like,
that's reasonable.
Like no.
Yeah.
But what
even
I'm
if you
saying
female
is,
on female or male on male,
it doesn't matter.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't care about that. It's when it's overly done.
But who
judges that?
Who sets that standard?
Who is to say what is overly done? Now,
what is
no, because what's inappropriate for you may not be inappropriate for me. So
everybody's raised differently.
And everybody has different things. Some people are not openly affectionate people. I'm an affectionate person. Yeah. So me being an affectionate person, my reasonable is already going to be different from a person who is not an affectionate person. That makes sense. So whether anybody, we're in public, we're all in public. You don't want your kids to see it, direct your children's attention somewhere else. Now that's we're in public. We in school, that's a whole different story. Right. Because again, I don't think that we should be having sexual conversations without parental consent, and really in education period, that's not the teacher's place. That's the parent's place to have that conversation and introduce those topics. Now for me personally, like I guess my kids are real open to a whole lot of stuff because we're just open. Like we talk about the good touch, bad touch. Are you having sex? Have you kissed a boy? Like, just out the blue, not like, ooh, it's time to have to talk, but just out the blue. You think that person's sexy? Like, are you having sex? Have you masturbated? Right. You touching yourself? And the thing is that, and we don't like I said earlier, I have a 7-year-old, but we don't say your wee wee or you probably
use
you
penis.
call it what it is. It's a
After a
penis.
certain age.
It's a vagina. No, from the get go.
Oh, from the get-go.
No,
Okay.
mine's from the get-go. But that can be embarrassing.
And
You know?
I'm gonna tell you this.
That
The only
go
reason
real
why
loud.
I didn't is because that's why. Because like my daughter,
Yeah, my child repeats.
have you?
So does
I'm gonna
mine,
need you to
but-
watch her podcast.
So-
So she doesn't have. Cap is just not
Right,
in
no,
her
so
vocabulary.
my- like-
So it's like with her, we call it her pie, but you know we be in the grocery store. Oh my pie! I'm like.
I mean,
way
that's
easier than my vagina. You know what I'm saying?
my
And I understand that it's a kid, so it's like, okay, it's more acceptable from a kid than it would be from me being 30 something.
We've been in the grocery store, and my child has been like, my child has been like, Mom, my penis itches. It itches, Mom.
Mine
Mom, my
does.
I mean, that's.
No, mine
But
does.
you know what? He's a boy. He got a penis, and you know what I say? So scratch it. Because we are normalizing behavior, and I'm not going. And now,
See, but by the time my son and my daughter's 4 now, but by the time my son was about 4, well, she knows the difference. But she knows that if we're in public and she's like now she knows like if we're in public and you got to tell me something's wrong because she's prone to having issues because she's a female. You know, some females have high pH or whatever. So she'll tell me like, Mom, my pie. You know what I'm saying? In public. She's more discreet about it. But I guarantee you, if vagina was an option for her, she would be yelling it from the fucking mountaintops.
And that
would just be her. Like, just because she's who the fuck she is. And my child is just like, I'm going to test every motherfucking string.
Right.
I will say, my son has always been taught the correct words because he's seen me naked. These are my breasts. This is my vagina. You know, boys and girls are different. Personal touch. And I do use the word penis, but I will say that one time, let me tell you all this story. This is crazy. So, I was at the little swim class. What's the little swim class? What's it called?
The top jump.
Yeah, the tots. What's it called? Swim tots. Aqua tots.
There you go.
We was at Aqua tots and he was like 3 years old, y'all. So we was getting out of the pool. He was getting out of the pool, and I was changing his clothes. So I was taking the clothes off because we're getting to the little stall. And in the stall, and then you know, it's a bunch of white folks around, you know, because it's about 11 o'clock on a damn Tuesday. You know, little white girls, everybody, little, you know, in the little bathroom, boys and girls. So we in there, and so I accidentally, I guess, mushed his penis, and he said, "Mommy, you hurt my penis. Don't touch my penis like that anymore." And I was like, "No."
Right. And that's when you have to like overly make yourself like heard. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pull your pants up.
And
like
that's
that.
what I said.
I had a similar situation. So my son, we was born in North Carolina, in Greensboro. So he was also a preemie. He was born almost 6 weeks early. So they circumcised him, but they didn't do enough. So when he got re-circumcised after he was potty trained, so you know it was just a whole headache in itself. So a couple of days post surgery, we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and when I tell you we're sitting in the booth, and he's just like, "My peewee," because that's the word we taught him, and I'm so glad at that moment I didn't teach him penis because he's acting like if I touch him, I'm raping him in public. You know what I'm saying? So my whole mentality is like, let me grab you up and snatch you out of here. But you know how that looks?
Right.
My penis, and I'm grabbing this child and snatching him out of the restaurant. So he's like, it hurts. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I went in my car and I sat there. It took me 20 minutes to pull off because I called his dad and I'm crying. And I'm like, I don't know anything about penis. I don't have one. Never had one.
What I'm supposed to do?
Don't want to have one. And he's in a restaurant yelling like I did something to him. And he won't let me check it because he knows I don't have a damn penis too. So he's like, I don't trust you. Where's my dad? You know what I'm saying?
See, I mean, for us, we are okay. I'm
gonna bring my son in and my daughter in.
We are we like my family. We're open. We're naked people.
Me too. I'm a naked
like
person.
we are naked people. We don't like clothes. My
26-year-old, we're naked people.
Like we're naked people. We are naked people. Yeah. So from the get go, we have been like whatever. But now I will say this: my 7-year-old, I was participating in extracurricular activities.
Lord.
And my 7-year-old.
What that mean?
Honey, sell it when you get your groove back. But anyway,
tell black folks.
We don't have to get there though. We're not discouraging you.
So we was engaged in extracurricular activities, and my 7-year-old woke up in the middle of the night and came in the room quiet as a church mouse.
Oh, no.
Quiet as a church mouse. And I was riding a motorcycle. And so my back was to the door, right? And I was saying things that people say when they are riding the motorcycle, and all of a sudden,
I need a motorcycle.
My other got this look on his face, like you know the look. If you've ever seen the look before, you know the look.
Like, I need you to stop.
And I just was like. Like I couldn't even bring myself to turn around. And in that moment, did I say we were participating in extracurricular activities? We were having sex. I was getting, we was getting it on. No, I didn't say that because that's inappropriate.
What did you say?
I let my other at first handle the conversation, and I thought everything was good. This was it was not good. It was not good because it was a Saturday night. And then the next day, I took him to church and dropped him off in Sunday school. And then the other picks him up, and the other said he got in trouble because he said he was saying the F word. And I was like, not my baby. My baby was not. No, he was not. And he said, yes, he was. And I didn't believe him. I was like, you're lying to me. So a couple days later, we were in Virginia Beach at the aquarium, and we were looking outside. They got the nice little seals or otters or whatever they are in the tank, and we're looking, and I'm like trying to call my family and be like, what are we gonna do to eat, blah blah blah, and I hear, fuck. I was like, I had to, in that moment, no, we're not gonna be open and honest, and I was like, hey.
So it has limits.
I was like, hey, little 7-year-old, we don't say that. And then the 7-year-old was like, but you were saying that. And I was like, so I get it in that moment. But in that moment, I was just like, you know what? We were playing a game that adults play. Because he's 7, he don't need to know what sex is. He's 7, he don't need to know, so we were playing a game, and
so it's age limitation.
Exactly. But and then he was like, well, can I play the game too?
I said adults.
He was very inquisitive, but I was like, no, you can't play the game. That's just a game that me and Dad play. And he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, but for real, it's not nice for you to say things like that. And you could see the kind of okay, I'm not buying this, but you my mom, so I'm not really gonna say anything. Yeah. But so it does have its limits. Yeah. So like I said, I'm not gonna go have sex in front of your kids unless they spend the night in my house.
Oh my God, that went a long way. I'm gonna go. The next question. So what can we as black women in America do to stop aiding in the emasculation of black men? And I feel like, honestly, Cam, you should be the one to answer this question first.
Yeah.
What can we do to not emasculate you?
Damn, spotlight.
Yeah. Spotlight.
Stop talking about it.
I'm just getting everybody feedback on all the questions and stuff. I'm loving what I'm hearing. But, I don't know. It's just be willing to hear a man out, be willing to listen, because we've been put in a position where men are supposed to be the forefront, supposed to be strong, supposed to be powerful. Men have been put in a position where we can't be vulnerable, we can't talk to nobody, and then when we shoot ourselves and when we take our families, then you're looking at people like, why did you do it? Why did you do it? Why
are you when you're looking for somebody that you're dating? Are you?
I don't feel like you was listening to him.
I was.
But would you finish your comments?
I was saying when.
I'm sorry.
Practicing listening, baby.
This is me. Okay, all right, Miss Tanya. Tinkle digress. Go ahead, Kim.
When these random acts, it's just he just seemed like he wasn't that type of person. What was happening in that household? Nobody knows what's going on in closed doors. They just putting on this front in front of people because, they don't want nothing being brought back to their home. So, it's just ultimately let the man express himself without feeling weak, without being a pussy, without being a sissy. And I think that's what happened. That's what's wrong with the world now.
And that was my lead-up question. Anyway, so I was asking, when you're dating somebody,
well said, young
looking
man.
for
Well
somebody
said.
that's going to listen, and you have the fear that they're going to judge you
I hear that.
based on that.
Because
that's
the perception of the black man is you can't have no faults. You can't make no mistakes.
Yeah.
The world's against you. You know, the world is against you. So it's just like if the main person that's supposed to be there to lift you up is tearing you down when the whole world is tearing you down. What's going on?
But who's the main person that tore you down?
I'm just speaking in general.
But do you
see
have
what
a
I'm
main?
A man.
A main person that you feel like tore you down?
I've been in several situations where I couldn't speak. I just had to kind of just let it be what it was. You know, and it's just like...
But does it really start with her?
Is it a thing of you letting that situation play the way it did and not taking the control to be able to speak up?
No, I think you learn it as time go on. But I think it's unfair to the man if you're going to use past situations and bring it on to the next man. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here, like, you know what I'm saying? But if you're going to sit here and be like, I can't do the same thing for you that you do for me, how's that fair to me? How's that fair as a black man?
You know, okay, so my other, I call him, he has a name, I just call him Other. Okay, but so my other, he was saying the same thing. He was like, to me, he was like, I need you to do this, da-da-da-da-da-da. But
wait a minute, let's do this.
the same thing. Like, listen.
So like you
Listen
You
and
wanted you to
allow
paint
him,
the picture again.
listen and allow him to be vulnerable, because I was expecting him. Like, you gotta man up, son. Like, come on, like, you know. Like,
Oh, he said he verbalized that?
no, yeah, he verbalized to me that I needed to listen and allow him to be vulnerable, because I'm like, come on, son, let's go, we gotta do this, let's go. Like, I'm like jumping, and I didn't give him any time to be vulnerable.
That's an interesting thing.
And he was saying to me, you know, I need this. And I was like, okay. But now, he didn't say that to me, like, when we were first talking. I used to call him my pool boy because we met at the pool. And I thought he was going to be a summer fling. He didn't say that to me when we was at the pool, and I didn't know his name. And I was just like, I'm going to go see my pool boy. And I was, like, in the pool. And, like, ooh, he threw me. Like, he didn't say it then. And I think if he had said it then,
It's a shield.
I would have been like...
It's a shield.
Yeah, okay, I'm done, because I ain't got time to
Why
deal
would
with
you
your
have been
emotions.
done though?
Because it personally, I had to do some growing. Because if he had said when I first met him and I was like, oh, he's sexy, I'm just flirting with him and he's just gonna be a
Would have
flame.
been a position of weakness for him?
It not even weakness, but it would have been like, oh, I don't want to
It's too
unpack.
much work.
Yeah, I don't want to unpack your baggage. I ain't know what you're carrying. So, yeah, I think we gotta change our.
I'm about to say it goes directly back to his point though.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
Real.
Like, directly
We gotta
back to his
change
point.
our
That's
thinking.
real.
What's the question?
A lot of
what can we
shit.
do to stop emasculating men,
Emasculating
basically?
men.
Yeah.
I think it's a perception of black man and black woman. We have to uplift each other.
Right.
We can't be
Because
tearing
nobody
each other down.
Because
You know what I'm
he said earlier, he was like, most women want to be men. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, men think of females as emotional beings. So the expectation for us is to be emotional beings.
But then why are
So-
men so angry then? And y'all the ones that's emotional.
I think- and
y'all the
I
ones
think
that's angry. That's a
also-
female trait.
I think also, I don't think it's females or women
It's an emotion.
want to be
We gonna
men.
talk after this.
I think that it
We've been put in
is,
positions
yes,
where we had to
where
be.
we've had to be,
Right,
because
right.
our men have been taken from us for decades, hundreds of years. They've been taken from us, whether we're talking about slavery, whether we're talking about prison, whether we're talking about gun violence, suicide, mental illness, wars, everything. Our men have been taken from us, and where other communities come together and support each other.
But that's a double standard
we
though,
don't.
because you look at women now, like they're talking about like hot girl summer,
But
doing all this and that, and
that's
doing
some
that
young
and
stuff.
this. No, what I'm saying, no,
I'm
Come on.
okay. You.
It ain't me.
Like, listen,
I would
listen.
agree with him. Go ahead.
Look, how can I respect you when you don't respect yourself? You don't respect yourself. So how am I going to respect you?
Again,
But
that's a
you're
learn.
generalizing.
But it's
Yeah.
also.
Generalizing?
But we're
I'm telling the
generalizing.
truth.
But we
so-
are
Are you
generalizing
saying
too.
it like it's a general statement? Like most majority of women are like that?
Nowadays they are.
That's
They're
a
influenced. They're
That's a
highly
general
influenced.
statement then.
They're
That's-
highly influenced though.
But I would also say that is a learned,
Behavior.
that's a learned behavior. Just like thinking
Come on, y'all.
that
Y'all
they
can't
have
say
to
that.
be a woman, thinking that they have to be a man
That's a lot.
That's a learned behavior.
How many broken homes is it?
Yeah, I
How
was
many
about to
single
say, I
mothers
can
is it?
attest
That's
to that
not it.
myself.
So you coming in as a single male into a household where she was raised by her mama was raised by her grandma was raised by her great grandma. Ain't no man involved. The same accountability you want her to take as being the female accepting your feelings, you gotta accept the shit she done been through too.
And that's the point. It's like you want some sort of sympathy that you're not really willing to give. You're not willing.
Sympathy.
You whatever, what compassion, empathy, whatever it is you want, but you're not willing to say, "Oh, this person had a whole other existence before I even met you." I mean, I've known you for 5 seconds. If you can't realize that somebody has had a whole nother life before you, I've only known you for 10 seconds. You know, you're 40, whatever age you are, you know.
We ain't there yet. No.
Go ahead, keep going. Don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. Keep
No
going.
pun intended, but I ain't there yet.
Stop touching.
You was hitting it.
You're not 40 yet, for real.
You hammering that nail. Keep
We
going.
all the same age. None of us are.
Wait. Mr. Cameraman, you ain't 40 neither?
No, he's
37. 37.
I can't wait to. That's a.
I say I'm 40.
baby.
I say I'm 40. But I ain't there yet.
Some baby.
No, but I'm saying I'm listening to y'all, and I respect y'all as women. I really do. Just from y'all opinions. I'm not saying women as a whole. I'm just saying of the new generation, women have been in a high influence of things like how can a man respect you?
It's a trauma response, though. It's
What
really
you think
it's
about
really
it? Look at it when for real though. Everybody grew up in here like Lil' Kim era. Just because she said she putting a Sprite in her throat, is you gonna do it?
What kind of Sprite?
Is you gonna do it? Is you gonna do it?
No,
It's just because she said you gonna put a Sprite in her throat, is you gonna do it?
What was your question?
That was.
What was your
Sprite in
question?
your throat?
Oh, I thought you asked what kind of Sprite bottle. That's what I thought you
Oh, I did say what kind of Sprite bottle. I did say what kind of Sprite bottle.
What kind of Sprite bottle?
I did say that.
You don't remember the line when she said the Sprite disappear in your throat?
Okay, so I don't know what you're talking about, honestly. I'm not a Little Kim fan, and I did not grow
Wait
up
a minute.
in that
I
era.
know we're talking about this subject, but I just really think it's important that she don't know what it means to make the Sprite can't disappear.
I understand what it means, but Stella,
Bottle or a can?
It means to make him disappear.
it means
In your mouth.
to give some real good head. That's what it means. But
You can't get a Sprite can in your throat.
It's a metaphor.
it's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor.
Deep in her.
Yes. Spoken word artist and entertainer extraordinaire. Don't forget, I'm a storyteller too. I am better than any cereal, more addictive than any drug. One taste of my words and you will be begging for your next fix. Don't you forget it. More Than Just a Mom debuts on January 12th. That's this Thursday. You can get your tickets on Eventbrite. They are only $10. Well, really $12.24 because Eventbrite charges a fee. Follow me on Facebook, Kimberly Johnson, special K in parentheses, and on Insta, Divine Miss Kim with no vowels. Those of you who aren't good in English, it's DVNMSKM. I love you guys. Peace out. See you later.
One quick second.
Changing the whole trajectory of the conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gonna throw that one back? Or you gonna talk about it?
Throw it back.
Either way, you gotta read the question.
Out of all the rappers listed to testify against Young Thug, do you think Wayne, Birdman, Rich Homie Quan will be the one to testify? Why or why not?
Hold on, read it one more time for me. I'm sorry, camera.
So, out of all the rappers listed to testify against Young Thug, do you think Wayne, Birdman, or Rich Homie Quan will be the one to testify? Why or why not? Like, this question,
I think no.
You don't think
I
none of them will
cannot
testify?
Like, well,
imagine.
testify in a good way or a negative? Like,
I mean, we
No,
don't know. They're been like it's
I think-
over like 200 some people.
I
that
think
were
Wayne is too
called.
old. Birdman is definitely not doing it.
yeah, Birdman, I don't see him.
And Rich Homie Quan, how old is he?
He young.
Now that nigga might squabble.
But I don't think he wasn't one that was a part of the organization though, was he?
Yes, he is.
Oh, they say he was a part of it.
I mean, irregardless if he wasn't,
All
he
of them
wasn't. Do
are.
you think that these people will really get in front, like the way these rappers come across?
I cannot imagine Birdman.
No. I
Or
don't
Wayne.
see Birdman or Wayne testifying.
Yeah,
or no
just-
type of testifying. Rich Homie Quan, I don't know him. I don't really
I know, that's how I
I
feel.
like
Yeah.
two songs.
What
That's
you
it.
think, Cam?
They too orchestrated. They too smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Birdman
Wayne.
and Wayne?
They too. They
What about
been
Rich Homie
in the game too
Quan?
long.
He run with them.
You think he'll be the one?
You think he'll? Do you
They
think
will.
he'll talk?
Probably.
I think I'd rather go to prison than talk.
But let's look at
At this
this.
point.
If you're subpoenaed to go to court, you
They
go
can,
or
they
you
can
get
do
charged.
what,
No, I'm gonna show up, but I'm not gonna speak.
they can do what Kelsey did.
She got immunity.
I don't know nothing.
She got immunity.
She
though.
got fake immunity.
She
didn't
got.
get full immunity.
She did get immunity.
It was just, it wasn't. I heard it's supposed to be.
I think we done with it.
You want another one? You want another one? You want
I think
another
we
one?
done with it.
Okay. You want
Maybe
another one?
one.
She sounded like
You had to ask my 26-year-old.
Wayne only focused on his main franchises,
Yeah,
and that's
he ain't
that's
about-
Drake and Nicki.
Do you think children as young as 8
That's a good question for you.
needs to screen
Be
for
screened for anxiety.
For who?
Anxiety.
For anxiety.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
That's a
I
good
think
question for you.
anxiety-
And
Well, do they need to be screened? I don't like the question because I don't trust government or anybody to screen our children.
so how would they get screened then?
You don't need them to be screened because it's already anxiety.
Just take them to therapy so that
I think that all of our kids at this point in time, because of their exposure to social media, the things that they've seen by 8 years old, most of them probably got some sort of trauma going on. And if you beat your kids, that's a trauma. If you cussing at your kids, that's a trauma. If you are not treating your children as if they're sovereign beings, like they are so incarnated just like you are. They are sovereign beings. They're not here to relive your life. If you don't understand that, these children, you are not their overseer. You're not their master. You're not a slave driver. You are literally here as a guide. And as a guide, you should be like God-like, and treating them with a sense of respect and of love. And most people think that they own children, and you don't own them. These children are soul. They have their own karma. They've been here many lifetimes. Mm-hmm. A lot of these children, the children that you see that you think have some sort of disability, have ADHD, a lot of those kids are misdiagnosed because they are being succumbed to a school system that is not conducive with children that are actually very gifted. Our school system, number one, you got to understand our history and the history of our public school system. Our public school system, number one, is very young and is a school system, and the blueprint is based off of Prussia. And if you know what Prussia is now modern day Germany. And if you know what Germany is all about, then you know that it's based off the Third Reich. It is really introduced, the school system was to indoctrinate your kids to literally succumb and to believe in the flag, to believe in the government. That's all the school system is really all about. And if you fall into that philosophy, into which most black folk, brown folks, people who are, were slave or indigenous people to our country, what has happened is that, we have been indoctrinated to push our children to ascribe to a government that doesn't give a fuck about it. And so when you fail to understand your history, you're not teaching your history in your home, you fail to understand your children's brilliance, that, if you teach slave history before you teach real, true African or black history or what our real culture is, you think that there's something wrong with your children. But there's nothing wrong with our kids. It's this that we're indoctrinated into this society as Americans to, the kids are already got anxiety because we got anxiety. If you're a parent and you got anxiety and you stressed out about the bills and you talking to the kids about the bills and you sitting around and you worried about this, well, what do you think the kids are? These kids are fucking incredibly bright. And they have access to things that we don't have access to.
That we didn't
so
have access
what do you
to.
need to ask these fucking white folks to put something on a piece of paper that's going to live in a chart for them forever, to say there's something wrong with them, when it really ain't nothing wrong with them. It's something wrong with society, and there's something wrong with these people who still really got you conditioned to think that, corporate America is like a reward. No, corporate America is modern day slavery is what the fuck it is. But I mean, we all got to go to work. We all got to do what we got to do. We all got to contribute the best way we can to provide for our children, right? But it still doesn't take away from the fact that at the end of the day that these kids are incredibly smart, they're incredibly brilliant, and what we're doing is dumbifying them. When you talk about even these testings, why the fuck would you spend so much time testing children? Why are you wasting fucking time? For real, for real. You don't know how to train our kids. You don't know how to educate our kids. Most of y'all know more about your fucking mechanic than you know about the teachers. That's why the teacher is able to be up in school, you know, talking about he a motherfucking she, and you look like a whole nigga. So my thing is,
go back to that, right?
You're going to sit here and try to dog this damn child out and try to correct this child. No, the child doesn't need to be corrected. You need to be corrected. You know what I'm saying? Stop allowing things to be your child's biggest advocate. You know what I'm saying?
You be your child's biggest
correct.
advocate.
You know what I'm saying? No, my child doesn't need to be you already know. You already know your child has anxiety. You know your teachers, these white teachers, is not enough black men teaching children.
Even black teachers are not problematic these days.
They really are, because they're conditioned too. And they all scared. They're going to lose their job. These kids don't pass. They give them crutches. They give them passes. No. If my child fails, let me tell you something.
Because they need to learn.
If my child fails,
but you know, even in sports, they fail
the teacher's fault.
That way.
It's the teacher's fault.
But even in sports, they condition like with like when we grew up. I'm sorry, cut you off. But when we grew up, you know what I'm saying. You had win or lose, or this and the third. You know what I'm saying. Well, I know with my son. First of all, he had a million allergies, so he didn't start playing sports till he was 8 because of his allergies. And then it's like, it's no draw. It's no overtime. It's you know what I'm saying? You can't be happy if you're winning versus the loser. But it's a win and lose in life. It's a winner and it's a loser. It's I scored 25 points and you scored 20. That's real life. So
you lost.
In my opinion, like rec ball don't prepare you for high school ball. It don't prepare you for college ball. Because in those arenas, kids win and lose every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair to tell them at the age of 3 that this is not going to be what the fuck you're facing at the age of 13. That's a false pretense. And I'm not with it. So I told my son straight up when he would get mad because he's over excelling and they're trying to cap him. And I'm like, we're going to find you a better opportunity. Because they're trying to cap your potential. And we're not capping your potential. You're going to keep on growing. But you have to learn
to be the advocate.
You still got to be a good sport. But it's win and fucking lose in life.
And you goddamn lost. So try again. Do better next time.
Right. And so now, like last year, I told my fiance, I said, I don't know how to encourage him. Because he was on the football team in Verona. And it's like, he probably going to kill me for this. But I don't care because I don't care. But I'm not using names. So one of my kids, you know what I'm saying? Let's put it that way. That's a nice.
Will he watch this?
You know.
Yes.
Possibly.
He gonna watch it.
Possibly.
Because my kid ain't
anyway, so like for instance, he played football. And he's entering into the 9th grade. He made the football team. He hadn't played football since rec. Coming into high school. For real. You know. So this is what happened though. So he would get in a game. Say the coach put him in for 2 plays. That's really shit. That ain't even the whole 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, you got in, son. You know, I'm the parent, honestly, that's at the fucking game with the flag.
That's right.
I got the motherfucking t-shirt. I got my whole fucking crew wearing the damn t-shirts. I mean, everybody t-shirts. I got the jacket on. I got his number on my back. I got his fucking name. You know what I'm saying? I'm yelling from the stands. Even for them 2 seconds he in the fucking game, I'm taking pictures. I'm doing everything. And when he leave the field, he like, I only got in for a couple of plays. I didn't get the ball. I didn't score. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, okay, so, but you got in the game as a 9th grader. You know what I'm saying? That's how my thought process is. And he was like, yeah, but that ain't nothing. So then when he gets more time in the game, his disposition is still the same. And I'm like, I don't know how the fuck to encourage this because
I don't know. I need a man to say something.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I know that's what I said. How the fuck I encourage him if he got in for half a quarter and he like, yeah, but I didn't score.
Toughest area.
But see,
I think that's a man thing.
And the thing is, what we have to realize is our kids watch us. Our kids watch us.
You're always striving to be better.
So what do you say?
it's
not about you what you say.
It's never
This is
what
what
you
I was
say.
told.
What you
I was
say.
told to keep encouraging him, irregardless of what the fuck his response to me is at the end of the game. My son had games where I know my son's mentality. So I know, like, my 4-year-old in the car with him after a game where it didn't go the way he wanted to go is not good for him. So my part as a parent was I dropped the 4-year-old off at home with the 16-year-old. I go pick the 14-year-old up. And we ride in the car, whether we ride in silence or we ride inside the conversation and breaking the game down play by play. We ride in whatever comfort zone he's in so that he can get it out and express what he's going through so that I can understand where he's coming from. That's how I understand that he is setting standards for himself.
Okay, I got a question.
A touchdown versus catching the ball versus getting playing time, they're different levels of success. So what it was for him was I might have gotten in the game. That's milestone 1. But my next milestone is to do this, and my next milestone is to do that. So thank you for the congratulations. But I didn't meet my standard.
I want to be better.
A standard he set for himself. A standard I'm not putting the pressure on him.
But I have a question though. I have a question. Would he receive it back? Okay, so let me just digress. Wait, let me just say this. Let me just digress because this is a different scenario. Because you do have a husband and a wife. So that is a 2-parent household.
And then he has, we have a 3-parent household because he has his father active in his life. Like, we have 50-50 custody.
Right.
So his dad sees him. Yes, his dad sees him.
All of us
dad's
get
at
along.
the games. If
All
one
of
of
us
us
get
can't come, 2 of us is
Okay.
showing up. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that, it's like he has so much support. It's overwhelming
But
support, you know?
I like overwhelming, but let me just say this
too.
because I want to be clear because at the end of the day, it's 11 million single women in America, households, and so it's overwhelming, especially for Black women. So there's a 3-parent household. You have a father who is involved, who is co-parenting with a stepfather and a mother. So that's 3 people that he's got support from. So I mean, at the end of the day, that's amazing. My question really is for single mothers, okay? For a single mother that has a son, because I'm a single mother, I have a 5-year-old son. Now, mind you, my ex, not his father, actually has stepped up to the plate and does take care of him and helps him and is supportive of him, and I'm grateful for that. But my question is, as a mom who's with him 24/7, do male children tend to fare better if they hear it from a male than a female?
Not necessarily. And I would say this, and this is the reason why I'm going to say this. This is the reason why I'm going to say this from personal experience. Because with my 14-year-old, me being a female, I will automatically think that, like, for example, my son just made another football team. So my fiance went to his first tryout.
But see,
his dad went to the second tryout.
But
I don't need to be there. You know what I'm saying?
I can't lean into that for you.
Why? Because I have
he had so many different
I can't hear that.
But listen to what I'm saying though. You said with the female, you hear
I would rather hear from him
Yeah,
as a man.
alright. So it's a little different, honestly, because
Not to disrespect your opinion.
I got you.
it's a little different. As stepdad, dad, which I hate the word step. First of all,
My mama said
His second dad.
My mama.
I don't care what you call it.
Bonus father.
I'm not anybody's stepping stone. So I don't like step.
Yeah,
So,
I got you.
but it's different because with our situation, it's a little bit easier because me and his dad are like-minded
Right.
when it comes to our boys. You know what I mean? If we were on different ends of it, if I was a pussy or he was a pussy, we would clash really big. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that we are,
pussy nigga, y'all gonna clash with real niggas.
we gonna clash really
so
bad.
you and your feelings about the man that is around,
Exactly.
chances are you're a pussy because you don't understand that it's about the child and not about you, pussy.
So because we are like-minded, it's easier because I don't have to have conversations with him about how to handle his biological son. You see what I'm saying? I just do what I do.
Right.
He do what he do. Somewhere, the son should be on the right path.
so important.
The son should be
I
on the
would
right
say
path.
this though,
And that's what it's about.
What,
You know what I'm saying?
what I was gonna get at was it's conversations where it's like my son. It would be situations where it's like we would expect for him, like as the 3 of us. Like, okay, he's gonna definitely go to Vaughn about this, and not go to his dad about this, and not come to me about this, and he will fucking shock us and come to me about this, and I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck to say because this is not my field, you know what I'm saying? But it's like he throws that monkey wrench at us because it's who he feels like he can have that connection with.
But that's so dope to be able to have somebody to flow on.
But it's also this too though, but like he's very intelligent.
Yeah, very.
So he can pick apart what I would say. He can pick apart what his dad would say. He may not understand or even get a gist of what his mom may say.
So he may come.
So he come to her.
Of that.
You see what I'm saying? Because he wants to get all aspects of it and put it together for his own understanding, and then he makes a decision.
I'm about to selfishly take this into another conversation, so I won't ask anything else.
Okay,
Go ahead. Shit, that's what it's about.
So for me, I feel like when I'm hearing y'all, how do you make like, to me it's a collaboration. It's like it's like right.
It is.
So how do you
get there?
Right, like
I'm in the same area.
I'm gonna tell you how we got there.
well, first of all, I centered around you as well.
Yeah.
And so what it was, it started, in order for us to be able to co-parent with a third person, it started with me and his father, right? So we had to get to the point where no matter what hurt we went through in our relationship doesn't matter. What matters is we have this child that we have to build up, that we have to raise, that we have to train to be able to be self-reliable and fully successful in life. So we have to, one, agree to disagree. That was our number one, was agreeing to disagree.
Was this a whole conversation?
No, it wasn't a conversation. It was time.
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
Like how much time?
And I would say, in my opinion, he may disagree. I would say 7 years. The first 7 years of his life was us learning how to navigate, like, irregardless of us disagreeing. You know, one of us had, which I honestly, in my heart of hearts, would say, I was the person to say, like, irregardless, so she knew, but irregardless of whatever transpired, it's irrelevant because he's here. And he was like the male who was like, the other shoe gonna drop. Like, she gonna get pissed off one day and she gonna come back and fuck everything up like waiting to exhale, you know what I'm saying? And I was never that person. So he came to me before my son was even 7 and said to me, he was like, thank you. Being able to set yourself aside, I would say, no, even till today, like, we know each other well enough that I can tell you that we've had situations, transparently speaking, where it's like, okay, if we're texting, and we know our communication. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know your communication with me. I know my communication with her. So if we're having a text message conversation, and the one thing in text messaging is that you cannot always know what I'm trying to say or the way I'm trying to say it. So even if I'm trying to say it in a nice way, but it comes off kind of nasty to you when you're reading it in your subconscious, then you would take it as like, oh, she's offending me.
I be meaning my text message.
You know, but sometimes it's misconstrued. So it'll be a lot of times where we have to say, fuck a text message, even though our schedules are polar fucking opposite. And I gotta take that 11 o'clock p.m. call to make sure that my son is straight at 8 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I have a 14-year-old that believes that me and his daddy never argued.
Ooh,
I have a 14-year-old
I got a 5-year-old who swear to God,
I have a 14-year-old that told me that me and his daddy has never had a confrontation. And the people that know me from when he was a baby knows that that's not true. We had arguments. We had knockout, drag-out fights. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't just my baby's father. He was the person who took my virginity. He was the person I first had a child with. It was a lot of fucking first there for me to be like, fuck this shit. I gotta focus on my child. But I did it first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I do believe the woman is the root.
I was about to say the woman.
Yeah, because you can't be a bitter bitch and co-parent.
Right.
You can't.
You do have
You
to.
cannot. But you cannot. I guarantee you. I'm telling you, in my years on earth and all my years of co-parenting, it was not until me and my fiance got together that dealing with bitter baby mamas became a thing. And I did not know what the fuck to do, because I'm like, I don't know any female that is this fucking bitter that's gonna make his life a living hell over top of the child's well-being in order to, you know what I'm saying, like, you're not succeeding that way. How the fuck is that helpful to your baby?
It's not.
It's not at all. Because what you do is you end up fucking up the child. You want to talk about some people with some mental issues? The mental battle is you making a child choose between his mother and his fucking father. That is especially boys. Like that shit is heartbreaking.
To me, for a male child, it is most heartbreaking for the father to be of dysfunction. Because it can be a place where but to me it's also where by the time they're 8, 9 years old, they're not going to listen to me, and it doesn't matter how much I try to
feel like that.
No, I don't. I don't think by the time young boys are at a certain age, they want to listen to a man. They don't give a fuck what I'm talking about.
Not necessarily, because, like, for example, I would tell you the way social standards go. They're dealing with females, so they gonna want a female perspective. Your son gonna want a female perspective to some degree.
Most of maybe a female's perspective.
That's not true.
Are they
Not true.
Well,
I'm just
Speaking
saying,
on it,
it's like,
Cam. Let's see what you gotta say.
I grew up in a household with my parents. My mom is just like, when I say my mom, like, she was like the mom, the dad, everything. Like, hearing it from my dad, because he's the type of man where his exterior was so hard. My dad has never said he loved me, ever. Ever.
But that's a problem.
So it's just like, no, it's not a problem. It made me strong. So the thing is, what I'm saying is, what my mom's saying it to me, and even though she said it later in time, the thing is, what you're saying, hearing it from a guy, that's not true. My mother said it to me, just that meant the world to me, because my mom brought me into this world. You know what I'm saying? My mom's just like, I don't care what you're going through. I don't care. I got you. There's been plenty of times, even to this day, I'd be like, Mom, I don't want to ask for this. I got you, baby. I got you. Mm-hmm. So when I hear that from my mom, that means a lot.
Validation.
I'm not saying, like, with my father, I love my father, but it's just like our relationship is like, it's different. So it just.
But I think, never mind.
Let me say this though.
Nah, say it.
Co-parenting in two different households, that's another factor.
I'm not trying to make
the whole thing
hurtful. You know what I'm saying? I'm not being hurtful, but I think for me, it's like, I'm not gonna say that. I apologize.
You're not gonna say what?
Mm-hmm.
I pass on it, man. Keep going.
Yeah, I pass.
You pass on it.
Yeah.
I would say also another factor in our co-parenting was us exhibiting a mirror co-parenting effect, because like say you're co-parenting, right, and I know both of y'all do, right? So say your son goes with his dad on the weekends and
he don't my son's
but I'm saying, for example,
it has to be the same on both sides.
Yes. So say he gets in trouble at home for playing with Play-Doh and he's on punishment for a week, but he goes to his dad's house on day 4 of his punishment. His dad needs to honor that day 4 punishment until day 7, because if you do that, then that would show a child balance and equality. So at 5, we came to the agreement that my son not gonna play both ends against the middle. So if he's in trouble at my house, he's in trouble at his dad's house. Like last year, he just got in trouble. I think he got smart with me or something. And I called his dad. I said, so he can't play the PlayStation 5.
Or his daddy.
You know what I'm saying? And his daddy was like, cool, no PlayStation 5. When is the last day of punishment?
But see,
you know what I'm saying?
So
but that's how we
level of respect.
That's how we do it. Like, like if he gets bad grades, like we both have his grades on our phone. So if his dad, he works overnight, I don't work overnight. So if his dad catches it and he's like, look, he got a D and or even a C, because he's in advanced classes. So you know what I'm saying? If he needs to tighten up. So no this, that, and the third. I'm like, okay, no this, that, and the third. He could be here or there. It's the same rule.
I think we should move on to another thing. Let me say this. I think that you need to let me get behind the camera
and he's gonna sit on the couch.
And the baby and your son's father, because this is the conversation that really deserves its own show. You know,
like people need to hear it.
Yeah, because people act like people say it's so rare and they don't understand like how we fully function.
But it's so simple. It makes sense. But it's always simple to one other parent.
It's only simple to that person that's putting the child first, to the other person that's putting themselves before the child.
Honestly speaking, at first it was abstract to him. He didn't understand coming in how we were fully functional, like we were friends. You know what I'm saying? We only had a conflict when the child was involved. So it was like once he got to see it, full throttle, then he fully he understood a little bit because you know because
it's some men that are so immature. It is immature. Not only is it intimidating, so you try to get this nigga raise my son, but because my situation is very different. I have a 26-year-old daughter, and and her father is not my 5-year-old's father. But in between that, I have somebody that I was dating for 7 years, and he is considered my oldest child's father, but it's not her father. He is still my friend, and now I have.
For the 5-year-old.
He does for the 5-year-old too, but in his
that's an amazing man.
He really is.
Yeah.
But in my son's father,
right? That was your Stella right there.
He's got a girlfriend. His girlfriend picked. He's got a friend. She picked him up. Right.
She's a girlfriend. She's not permanent.
I don't want it. Slip and slide. I've been there. I'm good. Okay. And it's okay because we're really good friends and I love who he is and I want the best for him. That's like true love to me. True love says
you talking about we need a segment. Y'all need a fucking segment. So he not your man. He got a girl and he take care of both your kids.
It sounds like we need a relationship round table.
He got a brother.
Nigga, like you take the care.
They both married.
They're both married. Is it other people?
No, his
wait a fucking minute.
But my son's father always accuses me of, you sleep with him, you got somebody else raising my son. I don't have anybody raising your son, but you won't step up.
Are you raising your son?
No.
Well then he can shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Well, I speak on that. It's not so much of that part of it. It's more so of two people. No, not ego, not fear. It's a respect. When you're raised a certain way,
you're not doing it.
People are raised different. Not her situation. What you said before.
Okay.
People are raised in two different ways. I can't really talk around it.
Okay.
For us, it's a respect thing to it. If I come in and you my woman, that's your baby daddy, fine, I respect that. That's his father. I'm gonna respect him as a father, as a black man, period. I'm respecting him.
And that's how my friend does.
But you have to also respect that you lost this woman. This woman is mine now. I'm stepping in. And this is my position. So respect where I am with it and do
but I
for
ain't
me.
Got no man though.
But for our situation, I could say. For our situation, I could say. So you have to respect that and not so much of okay, she's single, I'm single, I'm doing whatever the hell we want to do. And when your parents co-parents in that way is much easier. Because you don't have other people to answer to.
And you ain't got him sneaking, trying to holler at her either.
So you don't have those problems.
Like,
so
he never was like.
And it's not the question of that.
He's been married and divorced.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not the question of that.
I feel like he also had to see that because coming from his co-parenting experiences, they aren't the same as my co-parent. I have one. He has multiple. So it's a difference. Like I said, until we got together, I never experienced a bitter baby mama. Like, you know how you hear stories and when dudes tell a story, you be like, you lying. Because, the girl ain't gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying? But his baby mamas is really like
they really have seen this.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And you be like, you be looking at the bitches like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah,
why would you prevent a man from wanting to be a part of the child's life? If
I do see that aspect on my son's father's side, but I still keep my cool. I still try to keep the peace. Whatever you got going on. First of all, bitch, I don't give a fuck.
And I don't care about any. And you want to know why?
Because about the kids.
One day your child gonna grow up, and you know what your child gonna see? Yeah, effort.
But you still have to keep healthy boundaries because what you're not going to do is you're not going to be disrespectful.
That's where the respect comes in.
You're not going to come in my house.
That's
where
respect
disrespect my family, the people who take care of him. You're not going to disrespect my best friend who is my ex and my daughter's stepfather.
That's where the respect.
Who is taking your kid to get haircuts every 2 weeks.
Right.
That you don't want to do. You don't want to do it, but then you want to. And so it's not the point of, and maybe it is a maturity level. Maybe at some point if you see. But that goes back to to me, if you have a friend and you see a friend dogging out his baby mama, you should stop that.
Yeah.
You as a man, because if you condone it, then you're just as much
you adding to the problem of our society for real when you do that.
You really are, and I think that's the conversation we need to have. Is I would never sit next to another female
And let
who
them do the
wanna-
shit that
Nah, you're not gonna
and,
dog.
and that's what when it came.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't
when it
deal with
came
females that
down-
dog black men.
When it came down to dealing with like the baby mama that we had the issue with, it was mind-boggling to me. Like, I mean, when I say mind-boggling, like I know my female friends, and I'm like, bro, like I told you before, like when it comes down to my wedding party, I have friends from 4 years old all the way up until after college, and I can't tell you one single female. I got females in state, out of state, around the state, from here to Cali, and I can't tell you one of them that's playing these motherfucking games. So it's like my mentality is, why? What the fuck are you gaining from this shit?
Immaturity.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why are you're not hurting yourself? What we have to realize is, what we have to realize as parents is our decisions weigh heavy on these humans that decided that they didn't pick us. We picked them. We picked them. You know what I'm saying? And I done been in situations as, like, for instance, for me, the difference between me and him also, which plays another factor in our relationship and our parenting styles, is that I grew up in a split home. His parents are still together.
Yeah,
my baby father's parents are still together, but I'm the one who understands what it is to have multiple stepfathers. So the difference is I understand the being looked over as a child, or feeling looked over as a child. You know what I'm saying? Feeling like this sister is getting more attention than I am. You know what I'm saying? Or because I'm the strong-willed, outspoken person, I've been like this all my life. Then I'm not as important as the one who needs my mom at that moment. But I have my dad. I have I was my mom's oldest biological child. She adopted one older than me, one younger than me. She had 4 under me. Well, 3 under me. So I'm the oldest biologically. So therefore, I'm also the strongest, the most outspoken, the most standing on our own. You know what I'm saying? So those qualities usually in a person is like, you don't really need somebody to lean on.
Yeah, but that's
you know what I'm saying? But that's
But
what
you do.
because I'm the oldest. I know what that is. It's like, yes, I do.
Yeah, and you know, so that in turn for me became poetry. That's where my poetry came from, because it came from me feeling like I wasn't heard, so paper hears me. And that's how I started writing, because I felt like even though I have my dad's side, I got my stepdad's side, I got my other stepdad's side, you know what I'm saying? I still have a voice, and I am still just as important as the other 5 kids, even though it's challenging, because between the 2 of us, we have 7 total. So it's challenging to take on 7 kids to one individual. Whether it's me being the stepmom, or him being the stepdad, or us being, we have 1 together. Out of all 7, we have 1 together. You know what I'm saying? Baby. So that is challenging, and I understand 150% where my mom was coming from. But like when we started dating, I told him straight the fuck up. Like what most people, and they may not agree with me, and I don't give a fuck. I'm not buying Jordans for your kid, even though we're bridging households, if I can't buy them for mine.
Oh goddamn no!
I'm not.
Because I do not. That's because that's favoritism.
If I cannot,
feel like they're not the same.
What I do is he works at night. Like I said, he works at night. He sleeps during the day. So we didn't have people comment on this, and we do not give a fuck. But it's like he gets off work at 6 in the morning. He take the kids to school in the morning. That's his time to spend with the kids. He sleeps during the day. In the evening, I pick the kids up. That's my time. My 16-year-old and me, our relationship, his mother died when he was a little bit younger. I'm mom. We spend quality time watching shows that we both agree on watching. You know what I'm saying? My 4-year-old relationship, that's different. My 14-year-old relationship is different. When his kids visit, our relationships are all fucking different. I am split in 7 motherfucking sections. And I have to be where they need me to be when I need them to be there. But I have my own individual fucking relationship with each and every single child. And he has his. And we have to understand the split. I can't treat my 4-year-old the way I treat my 10-year-old. No. You know what I'm saying? And they're all mine.
But it's so like this is, to me, this is a whole nother conversation. This is like an episode within itself, because you could spend an hour on this alone, because so many parents think that you can treat all the kids the same. No, the fuck. And I cannot stand. Listen to me. I cannot fucking stand when parents say that I love all the kids the same. You're a fucking liar.
You don't.
You can't. Because they
and
all
I'm gonna tell you straight the fuck up, and I don't care who feeling no type of way. I was told I couldn't have my daughter. So all I wanted was a motherfucking daughter. My love for my daughter, my family's love for my daughter is, Brittany was told less than a year ago, before this child, she couldn't have her. My baby feel that, because she's fucking spoiled. I'm not saying she's not spoiled more than other kids, but I would say this: my son was the first on my side and his dad's side. My daughter was the last. Mm-hmm. We ain't having no fucking mom. And they hold on to her for that. You know what I'm saying? So it shows, you know what I'm saying? But I try to make sure one of our biggest things is equality. We do not want any of the kids feel like one of them is loved more than the other one, but they're loved in different ways.
It's a terrible feeling.
But they're loved in different ways, and we fucking been there. You know what I'm saying?
I was a stepchild, so between my mom and my stepfather, even though my stepfather was a shit, he was the man. I ain't even gonna lie. I love my stepdad, but I had my dad too. You know, and so both of them were shit to me. And then I had an uncle, so I had a lot of positive male role models. But at the end of the day, I felt the favoritism with my mom. Like, by 7 years old, I was a latchkey kid in Henrico County, coming in the house by myself. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then you have younger siblings up under you as an older child. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's sad, and you do feel the difference. And like even today, my sister has kids, and we have kids. My nephew is 7 years old. Then her kid is 3 years old, and then I have my kid. In my mind, I still be a little petty. I'm like, I feel like you treating these kids different. When I see my mom around, I feel that because I know it's a very subtle thing.
How do you feel when you see the difference?
It's what she says.
But
it's what she says.
Is it just what she says, or is her actions that follow the words?
It's her actions. It's everything. You can feel it.
But how do you deal with that? Because that's been.
I checked her ass.
That's been something that, and I feel you. I'm there. You know Tink, right? So I'm there. 155.7678910%.
I mean,
but you know what I'm saying. But my thing is, you can't force somebody to be what the fuck you want to be for your kid, grandparent, aunt, uncle, cousin.
And you can get the fuck out of my life.
Yep.
Touche.
Cut off.
So, a question of, I guess stemming off of what you just said.
But I mean, she checked herself. She got it in order.
So not even that.
She beat the fuck out of my life.
Do you think it was a what? Okay.
Favoritism?
Nah. I mean, it comes off as favoritism, but okay. As a parent, I have 7 kids. As a parent, my kids need different things from me. As a parent, I realized. Some of my kids.
On the couch today.
I probably should have. Some of my kids. I don't like being on camera, but some of my kids require more attention and require me to compensate. Is the word I'm looking for. I have to compensate some things for some of my kids that my other kids get from other parents that they don't necessarily get from a collective.
In all fairness, as I get older, I do understand that my sister might have needed a little bit more nurturing than what I did. Number one, I'm a Taurus female. I've always been headstrong. Like, it ain't a lot you can tell me. And I'm always going to do it. I'm all like, by the time I was a single mom, and by the time my daughter was 2 years old, I bought my first house and I was only 24 years old. You know, and so I caught a felony when I was 18 years old. I don't have my rights restored, my gun rights restored. I mean, I'm one of those people. I work for the city manager. I work for the state. All the things that people say you couldn't do, I will do that fucking thing. I don't give a fuck about nothing. You will not tell me no. It just can't happen.
Real shit.
But and so I think my mom knew that about my personality and knew that about me. And so as I get older and I'm more mature, I do understand that my siblings needed something different, and that my mom knew that I was more resilient and able than they were. But at the end of the day, it still resides in my spirit that I needed nurturing. Like, it's hard to grow up in the West End with a bunch of white kids and you're different from your peers and you have nobody to talk to that about.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Because like going to school with them, I went to private school first. I went to private school preschool through 8th grade.
That should
you know what I'm saying? So when I came down to going to school with them, a lot of people, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, thought I went to public school. Because I blended.
You have to be a chameleon.
But I'm a chameleon.
You have to be a fucking
Gemini. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, do I really not need the same support as my other siblings because of their struggles? Or that I exemplify the characteristics of somebody who can be self-sufficient, self-reliant, and stand on my own 2 feet? Or do I still need the same support? So like even with my son, like now in 9th grade, he's like don't bring flags to my games, Mo. You're doing too much. You know what I'm saying? But I want him to see that I'm still supportive and on the front line for you. Because even if you don't appreciate it right now in this moment, you will.
You will.
You know what I'm saying?
So many
You know what I'm saying? Because
my mom was there. My dad was there. My stepdad was there. These people were there for
And like
me.
I said, he has a bunch of friends that don't have that.
And
You know what I'm
they envious
So
of him.
I really feel like
For real, they like, I
the
want to come to your house.
position that I'm in, the shit that I've been through, the walk that he's walking, I feel like it's about to come full fucking circle. Because like he don't realize in the conversations, but I'm like, this is the kid that you know, like this is
I can't
what we're
stand
facing.
it.
I'm like, I don't know.
I'm this
It's
mom.
real.
Fuck that kid. No, bring your ass home.
That's my shit.
You know?
That little nigga
But
about to
see,
get
and
motherfucking
honestly-
body. You probably got a gun.
Honestly,
No.
Right.
Everybody told me they thought I was gonna have the 7 kids, like physically have the 7 kids, because my mom is like
But you had 7
a kids person. So I always have kids over and everything, but I'm not the one to birth them, but I can nurture them.
Yeah, that's how
You
I
know
am.
what I'm saying?
That's what my
So
mom
that's
did.
how I started the roundtable discussion for youth, because they have opinions. And
They really do.
My parenting style is, because the way me and my dad was versus me and my mom, I'm all about being able to have the conversations that you wouldn't think that the kid is okay with having. And during COVID, that allowed the boys and their friends and stuff, because you know most people are like, oh, you ain't coming to my house because it's COVID. I'm autoimmune compromised, but my kid's not going everywhere. So certain kids were allowed to come to my house. And during that process, we had teenage conversations from the ages of 12 to 16 where it's like they talking about sagging pants, they talking about having sex with girls, they talking about dating girls, they talking about priorities, they talking about people dying, they talking about all of these things that are real life adult issues that we deal with and we sometimes can't navigate. And I'm like, we need to have these
How old do
conversations.
boys start thinking about sex? About like 9, 10? What's wrong with y'all?
Younger than that. Well, no, I ain't gonna say younger.
Way
than
younger.
that.
I was about to say it depends.
It depends on.
It depends on the
son-
kid. Because my 14-year-old, my 16-year-old, though they're only 2 years apart,
My
they're
son
completely
wakes
different
up.
fucking
I tell you
kids.
straight up, it's the second that they realize when they go to shake, when they go pee, and they got a sensation.
Oh yeah.
Well, how you
That's
know?
when they
My
do.
son has woke up with a hard penis.
I'm a pan the cam laughing for
My
confirmation.
son's penis is hard every morning.
I think that's men in general.
I mean, is that
And that was the part
That's
that
real.
was right for that
That's
shit.
men in
As,
general.
as a,
honestly,
My sister, her son, none of her sons.
His daddy and stepdad will tell you them sex conversations and stuff. At first, I was like, okay, my son has been taking 45-minute showers since he was 5. And most people be like, oh,
Mhm.
that's be their answer, right?
Yeah.
No, the fuck he ain't.
Yes,
that's
he
my
is.
answer.
Yes,
no,
he
the
is.
fuck he ain't.
Not.
Yes,
You
he
know
is.
what I was
Bruh, look, I tell you straight up. I tell you straight up. As a man, straight up.
45 minute shower.
When you wake up every day as a young man, a young boy, with a heart on, bro.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
What you gonna do with
Grown
it?
men and little boys.
My son wakes up. Since that kid has at least been 3 years old, his penis is on hard every morning.
Same.
But what I'm very careful about is not to ever shame him or
Nah.
make it feel like it's
Yeah, I
anything.
don't.
I don't even point
I
it out.
don't either.
I don't
And
even say
he'll be
anything
putting lotion on.
But you
and
do
I'm
right
like,
now?
I'm like, yo, I don't need to see all that, bro. I'm just saying, I'm right.
I pointed out to my kids, but I treat my boys like I always treat my boys like they're my brothers almost.
Let me tell you something.
But it's a little different.
Devon Pierre Garden is very sexual, so I'm gonna let you know right now.
Yeah, I am.
That no matter what the fuck the conversation is,
He gonna
he
say
is
what he got
open,
to
willing,
say
and
about what
honest
he
to
got
have
to
the
say
overly
about sex.
sexual conversation.
Yes, he is.
Like he's having conversations
I don't
where I'm
care.
like, what the fuck? No, my baby ain't doing that.
Whatever.
From 16 to 4, I'm like, my baby ain't doing that.
Whatever.
The fuck? No, we not having that conversation. The boys laughing and giggling and shit. And I'm
Because
like,
they doing it.
Y'all had a fucking conversation when
Because
I was
they doing it.
It's some shit I'm just not ready for.
She like the man.
She
She like the
up.
man that doesn't want to have the conversation with his
With his daughter.
girlfriend.
Yeah, that's how she is.
She's like,
That's how she is.
no, what you're not gonna do.
That's how she is.
Honestly, you know what I'm saying? It's just some shit I'm just not ready for.
Just brace yourself.
I'm not ready for. Now
I don't know.
if my son decide, because our 16-year-old will come to me and talk to me about shit he won't talk to his daddy about. And it be mind-boggling to him because he's like,
You looking like she was
Like,
looking 2
really?
seconds ago.
Nah, because I don't care. I don't care
But
as
he
long as he's
really
talking to
will.
someone.
He really will. And
Someone
he
that
will-
I trust.
And if
At
I
the
tell
same
him,
time.
because we,
So,
and the thing
it don't-
is,
it don't
like,
matter to me.
co-parenting is what me
That's
and my
all it
son's
is.
father realize is that every
I have a
conversation,
Go ahead.
every conversation is not a conversation. Like even if the 16-year-old come to me and say something, and it's something he confided in me about, but it's something we both need to know. We both know it, but we both don't address it.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta still respect
His
the child's
privacy.
position.
Yeah. Confidentiality.
So if it's something,
okay.
if it's something,
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Restate. I'm sorry.
so if it's something that the 16-year-old says to me, right, that both of us need to know, he knows, but we respects the child's position.
So you don't
So
talk about
he's
it.
not
I won't
going
come to him
address
about it.
That's
He's
right,
not
though.
going
Yeah, I
to
won't
address
come about
it,
it.
even if he's
Because the kid didn't come to you. And you want him to think
because that would violate his trust. The thing
Right.
about kids is they're more resilient than adults, but they're less trusting. So therefore, what we learned dealing with these teenagers, because we got 2 at one time, 9th and 11th, is that you don't want them to rely on their friends.
Right.
You might as well cut this
Because
whole video
giving
up into
them-
about 5
give-
I thought about that 30 minutes ago, but
Giving
y'all go
them the
ahead.
out to deal with
Yeah,
their
I
friends
wouldn't
is
drop
like,
them.
hey, run into a brick wall. You know what I'm saying? So you will want them to come to one of the parental figures. With my son, he's lucky because he got 3. You know what I'm saying? And even with our 16-year-old, they know. Even with my 14-year-old, he know he can call Auntie Shell, he can call Uncle Cam, he can call Auntie Tonya. You know what I'm saying? And even if y'all feel like, unless he's in danger, I don't expect for you to call me.
Yeah.
I expect for you to let him talk to you because he felt safe enough.
And that's right though, because if I trust the people that I'm around, like if my kid has your number, you should be able to trust me with your kid. I don't think, but I'm one of those people that I feel like I raised my friends' kids. I think I raised my
But
friends.
we need
but,
more of that though.
But
We
because
need more of
it's a
that.
community, like your kids have my number and they should be able to trust me. But at the end of the day, if your kid come to me, unless it's something really fucked up, like if this nigga buried a body or something, I'm like, yo, my nigga, I think I don't know what we gonna do. I ain't going.
And
to,
we done- we
look,
done
I ain't
had-
going to the police.
We done had them troubling situations.
Cause I'm
where
an
it's
OG. I'm not going to the
like, we
police.
done had them troubling situations
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like,
I don't know goddamn police.
we done had them
But-
troubling situations where it's like, I gotta tell you but
It's
I'm gonna
important.
make him tell you.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And even though he feel like it's a violation of his trust, you need to know in this situation, your mama needs to know.
It's got to be very, very critical, but I would not say anything because I think it's a violation of their trust. And if it's something that I feel like, I can deal with, or this is between me and them. I mean, they sovereign beings. It's
Right.
nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Like when I look at my goddaughters and the young men that are in my life, like I'm not going to fucking mother. What the fuck?
Right. Which
But I
one?
look at it just like I look at when my nieces and my nephews were young. Their father died when they were like babies, so I had to be my oldest brother. Like when I look at certain situations, they were more comfortable talking to me about it because I'm secretive about things. I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna tell this person. I'm not gonna tell that person.
Yeah.
Sorry, brother, but it's the truth. But
That's
I'm
right.
not going to tell aunt. I'm not gonna tell mom. I'm not gonna tell pops.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell them. So
And that's
even
what
to
kids
this
looking
day,
for.
they look for things like that. Even to this day, like my oldest is like 25 now. Like my oldest niece, 25. So it's just like the fact that they can still come to me now. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a cool thing. I think that's a cool thing. So
It's a blessed thing. Like kids
Yeah.
don't talk to a lot of people, like,
Right.
and they don't have anybody. They can't trust their friends. Their friends aren't trustworthy.
Hell no. They think it is, but they ain't. They ain't.
But
I was blessed to have a lot of good friends. I was one of those children
Amen,
that did
'cause I'm
not
one.
have.
No, I'm talking about the
mom
younger
nor dad.
kids.
I said amen because I want. Go ahead. I tweeted my
So I
own
mean,
fucking horn.
sometimes you do come across some good friends.
Yeah, because I mean, she been through the ringer though, Tonya. Like that's what she's saying. Like she been through the ringer. She didn't have the mom and dad people to talk to. You know what I'm saying?
So you
And
gotta
the auntie
sometimes you do
and
have to
uncles
turn
and
to
all
your
that.
friends.
You know what I'm saying? So she relied on us, and I can tell you like even being like one of her best friends, it's a lot of shit I didn't know she was going through.
Do you think you can make new friends?
Yeah. Yes and no.
Do you?
do we need? I think we need to. Hey, look, we threading that needle. We threading that needle.
I'm big on energy.
Yeah,
So
'cause that's-
I vibe with people based on their energy. I can be standoffish at times. I'm quiet. And sometimes people take my quietness as
So
if
it's something different.
Yeah, it's something else.
Mhm.
But
I think it's observant.
That's exactly what I am. I'm very observant. I will sit back and watch everything until I get to the point where I feel comfortable enough to start talking or opening up to you. But I'm not hard to make friends with. I've made plenty of friends. Like, I moved to a whole nother state and I have plenty of friends.
Now, the thing is the level of the friendship. That's the thing. But
What you mean,
I just want to let y'all know we're going to continue this on another episode because y'all have been hanging in with us for over 2 hours. And I just want you to know you've been fucking awesome. And thank you for tuning in. And until next time, Raw Talent Roundtable Discussion. We're going to bring this shit to you more than once a month because this shit is hot. We didn't get through half the topics. Like, we covered like 4 topics tonight. So we have a lot more. A whole bucket.
Back in the bucket.
The fuck, like, we gonna get it popping though. Until next time. Thank you.
Peace.
You gotta give me the all. Tink did not come to play with you hoes. I came to slay, bitch.